I've done a little bit of DIY in the old shed, and I've knocked up a workstation here for my fishing. I've done this for two reasons. The first one is my little man is now at the stage where he is crawling around and getting his hands into everything, and I kind of feel like if I drop a bead or a hook and I don't see it, and he does, well, it could cause a bit of damage to my little man or worse. So safety is key there, and also I thought it'd be a nice little way of showing you guys at home everything that I use, from knots all the way to the rigs and how to make the rigs, and it'd be easier to do it in the workshop than it would do, say, on the rocks or on the beach at night, or in the fishing kayak. So hopefully you guys will find these little workshop sessions interesting and helpful, and yeah, let's get started with the first workshop. I'm going to show you guys at home the two knots that I like to use the most. The first one is the knot that I would use to tie up my rigs, tying on hooks and weights and so on. And the second one is the one that I use to tie my shock leader to the main line, which is very important, especially if you're using 4, 5, 6 ounce weights and your power cast them. You definitely need to make sure you got your shock leader tied on correctly. But we'll start with the knot that I use for my rigs. What I'm going to do is just put a bit of shock leader here, and I'll use a lead weight and just talk you through it, and hopefully you'll be able to see this okay at home. But what you do is, whatever item you're tying on, thread the line through it, and then with your index finger in between the tag end and the main line, straight through like that, lock the line into place, and then with the tag end you want to go over the main line, twist it around 5 or 6 twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what you want to do is take the tag and put it through the loop there that your index finger is creating. Okay? Grab it with the teeth and give a slight pull with the teeth, and then it'll come into this kind of state. And what you want to do is you just want to add a little bit of saliva to it at this stage. And what that does, it will cool the friction down when you pull the knot together, stops it from overheating or burning the line, which will then entail weakening the knot, like so. It's just started hammering it down outside. Glad we're in the shed. And there is the knot. Very quick, very easy to do, and very, very reliable. Like I said, I do this with all of my fishing. Now, obviously you've got this tag here. Now, what I would say is, if you're tying on a swivel or a boom or a weight, then just an easy little snip, done, nice and tidy. But if this is on a hook and you're using worm bait, lugworm especially, you've got this tiny little tag here, which if you want to thread a worm up the snood, this will, because it's so sharp, will pop the worm and you lose a lot of juices. So there's two things you can do. You can either get a rubber sleeve to go up the snood, which is what some people do, or you can get a pair of the old nail clippers and get it right in close on the knot. Bang, and it's gone. And you can thread the worm up, and that won't pop. That won't pop the worm, and that's how I do that knot. Like I said, it's very, very strong. Okay, so just to show you that knot up a little bit closer. So you've got the item here that you want to tie on. The leader goes through the eye, and then you get your index finger in between to trap it, like so. and then with the tag end you want to go around the main line 5 or 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 5 twists there, so it's like that. Now if you're going to be using braid, the twist, you cannot do 5 or 6 twists, it will need to be 10, 12 at least in order for the knot to take. But just experiment with it. I do use it myself for my plug-in, and I use this knot, but like I said, I do go up to around about 12 twists in order for it to work. So we've done the 5 twists, so we get the tag end and we thread it through the loop that the index finger was making, like so. Grab a hose, give it a little bit of a pull down. There we go. This is the point that the knot looks like when I usually add a little bit of spit to it, just to stop it from burning. There we go. And then with one big tug, it locks the knot down. And there we are. There we have it. Perfect. And then you might see here that if I get scissors and you cut it with the scissors, like so, hopefully you can pick up that tiny little tag, and that's the one that I'm on about when you're worm fishing. That's the one that will burst your worm. I don't know if I have it there, you can see that any better at all. Not sure if you're picking that up, but the nail clippers will sort that out and get rid of it. Just do that for you now. So the nail clippers can get in really close to it. Probably getting closer again. No, that's enough. Perfect. And you'll stand less chance of bursting the worm with using the nail clippers. So that is the knot, and it's very strong. Put a lot of pressure onto it, and yeah, that's not going anywhere. Let's have a look at the other one, and I'll talk to you about the next one I'm going to show you. Have I got any line in here? I do. There we go. Right. This line is £20, but you know, this knot I use for tying on all my shock leaders, whether it's £12 line, £15 line, 20, and so on. So first things first, the shock leader. Okay, so we'll say this is the shock leader that's going onto your reel. And what you want to do is make a loop, and then the tag goes in the loop twice. 1, 2. Okay, and then pull it gently, and then we'll get to a stage where it shows a figure of 8. I'm just going to step forward and just see if you can see that on camera there. Hopefully. Twist it around slowly. But that will show the figure of 8. Now, at that point, you then get your line that's on your reel. If I can find the end, and the tag end needs to thread through the first loop of the figure of 8. You do the first loop first, so you work from the tag end. Okay, so into the first one. If I can find it. There we go. And I've just pushed it back out. I'll just do that again. There we go. So it goes into the first one, and then what you do is you back on itself. So you go then through the second one. So you've gone through the first loop, back through the second one. There we go. So now I've got the tag end of the main line here, that would be on my reel, and the shock leader. I've got the tag end of the shock leader here, and the line to my reel. So what you want to do at this point is just, with the reel line, just make sure you've got enough there for the knot, so that's about right, and then lock off the shock leader, so just pull that tight. Okay, then it's the same as the knot that I showed you before. So the finger goes in, main line, tag end goes around the main line 5 or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back through the loop that your index finger is creating, like so, in the teeth. Hope my dentist doesn't see this. And then just gently tease it together. Again, normally I would apply a little bit of spit there just to stop it from weakening, but obviously because it's just to show you guys, I don't need to at this point. And that is it. What you want to do is just, I like to make sure I get the shock leader, like so, and the main line, like so, just to make sure it's all tight. And that is it. Get the scissors or the snips, and you really want to, where are those snips to? There they are. You really want to try and get these tags as close to the knot as possible. Just take these tags off. Like so, there we go. And that is it. Small little knot. Takes a couple of minutes to do. So if you do end up snapping up whilst you're fishing, and you need to put on a new shock leader, that's not to use. It's very quick, very strong. Anytime I've got a ply shock leader, this is the one that I use. Now, those little tags that we've just cut off, like I said, try and get those as close to the knot as you can without damaging the knot. Because if you're using a multiplier, that can, well, as you're casting out, it can catch you on your thumb here, and it can be a little bit sore, especially in the winter when your hands are freezing cold. And also, if there are any little tags, you can pick up weed on it as well. So just try and get those as close as possible. But those are the knots. Yeah, they are really strong, very reliable, and the main two that I like to use. Okay, so with the shock leader, you make your loop, go into the loop once and twice. And then you pull it to form the figure of 8. Hoping that you're seeing that on the camera there. Once you've done that, what you then want to do is with the line that will be on your reel, you want to be threading it on. So where the tag end is, that's the loop that you do first. Just thread it in one, bring it around the other side, thread it in again. Make sure you've got enough there to make the knot. That's about right. And then just put a shock leader to lock it in, like so. And then, same as the knot that we've just done, the shock leader will now become the main line, and the reel line will become the tag end. So again, index finger in between, trap it, 5, 6 twists, up to yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, the tag end goes through the loop that your index finger is making. Like so. And then you just pull it gently. Then pull the other one, and then this is where you need to tighten up the shock leader. Tighten that shock leader up. I usually use my hands and my teeth for doing these knots. Don't tell my dentist. There we go. And that is it. Locked in. Perfect. And then you just take these tags. Again, I like to use clippers for these just to get it in as close as I can to the knot. Just so that when I'm casting out, it doesn't catch my thumb. And at the same time, if you do have tags on it, it can also catch weed as well, if there's any weed floating by. So try and get those down as close as you can. And like I said, when you wind it in, make sure it goes to the left or the right of the reel if you're using a multiplier. But that's a knot, and it's so strong and very quick and easy to do on the rocks or the beach or whatever type of fishing you're doing. There we are. There we have it. Perfect. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the little video and found those knots helpful and useful, especially if you're new to fishing. I find those knots very strong, very reliable, quick and easy to do, especially when fishing. So yeah, give them a go, see how you get on with them. But in future workshops, what I'm looking to do is show you some rigs, show you how to make those rigs and what they're good for. So until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you again on the Blind Angler.